All right, let's think about this for a second. What if you could break into a brand new market, not in, a matter of years, but in months? Sounds a bit like a dream, right? Well, today we're going to talk about a super powerful tool that can make it happen, patent licensing. We're going to dive into how this can be your secret key to growing faster and with a lot less risk. So I know what you're thinking. You've got your eyes on the prize, that next big market, right? That untapped territory. And the big question is always, how on earth do we get in? Look, it's a huge challenge every single growing business faces.
And let's be real for a minute. Plowing into a new market is, well, it's tough. It's incredibly complex. It costs a ton of money, and the risks, man, they can be absolutely overwhelming. It's a huge, huge undertaking. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the big market expansion puzzle. Then, we'll see how patent licensing can be the key. After that, we'll talk about finding the right partner, making a great deal, and finally, what happens after the handshake. Let's jump in. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the market expansion puzzle. This is really about understanding those universal challenges, those giant walls that seem to pop up whenever you try to grow. But here's a thought. What if there was a strategic shortcut? What if you didn't have to build every single thing from the ground up? Imagine being able to use technology that's already proven to work, giving yourself a massive head start. That's exactly the idea we're going to unpack. And that brings us right to our key solution, literally, unlocking new markets with patent licensing. Just picture it. It's like having a master key that opens doors you thought were permanently locked. So what is patent licensing really? When you strip it all down, it's actually pretty simple. One company has a patent on an invention. They give another company permission to use, make, and sell that invention. And in exchange, they get paid, usually through royalties or fees. It's a win-win, a really elegant, simple arrangement. Okay, this next part is super important. There are basically two main flavors of these deals. You have an exclusive license, which means you are the only one with the key to that particular market, total control. Then there's the non-exclusive license. You get a key for sure, but so do some other people. Deciding which one is right for you, that's a huge strategic call. So why go through all this trouble? Well, it boils down to three massive wins. First, you get instant access to technology that's already been tested and proven. Think of all the R&D time and money you just saved. Second, you slash your risk because you're teaming up with someone who's already in the market. And third, and this is a big one, you often pay as you go with royalties tied to revenue. That is just fantastic for your cash flow. All right, so the idea sounds pretty great, right? But how do you actually find one of these opportunities? Who do you partner with? That leads us straight into our next section, finding the right partner. So you can break this down into three basic steps. First, you've got to analyze the market, find a real need, a gap that your business is perfect to fill. Next, you start digging through intellectual property databases, searching for patents that could be a match. And last but not least, you have to network. Seriously, get out there. Industry conferences, trade shows, those places are absolute gold mines for finding these kinds of connections. Okay, so let's say you found a great potential partner. Now comes the really critical part, crafting the deal itself. And a quick tip here, this isn't about winning some bare-knuckle negotiation. It's about building a foundation for a real partnership. And the secret here is just preparation, pure and simple. You need to walk into that room knowing exactly what a win looks like for you. You have to be crystal clear on the scope. What territories are we talking about? Which market segments? For how long? And obviously, you've got to nail down the financials. The royalties, the fees, everything has to be structured in a way that actually makes sense for your business. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't just some abstract business school theory. When this is done right, it can literally transform an entire industry. Let me show you what I mean with a couple of amazing real-world examples. First up, Tesla. Now, when they opened up their battery patterns, they did something absolutely genius. See, it wasn't just about making a little extra cash from licensing. They basically jump-started the entire global EV market. They created this huge ecosystem and put themselves right at the center of it as the leader. Just a brilliant, brilliant strategic move. Okay, now for a totally different kind of playbook, Qualcomm. Their whole model is licensing their essential wireless patents to, well, pretty much everyone who makes a mobile device. And the result? their technology became the industry standard, and that created this incredible, sustained river of revenue that is the absolute heart of their business. But look, a great deal doesn't just stop the moment the contract is signed. That's actually just the beginning. And that brings us to our final section, looking beyond the handshake and building a real long-term strategy. You see, the best licensing deals, they evolve over time. They transform from just a piece of paper, an agreement, into a genuine partnership. And what does that look like? It means you're talking all the time, you're solving problems together, and you're really leaning on your partner's expertise and network. And to keep that success going, you can't just set it and forget it. You have to manage it actively. That means you're tracking performance metrics like sales and market share, you're making sure everyone is sticking to the terms of the deal, and you are always, and I mean always, keeping an eye out for that next opportunity to grow. So, to wrap all this up, I think this quote just nails it. It says patent licensing is a powerful strategy for businesses looking to enter new markets and drive growth. And that's the key takeaway here. It's not just some boring legal document, it's a powerful engine for growth, but only if you use it strategically. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought, a question to think about for your own business. What incredible untapped technology is already out there right now, just waiting for you to come along, license it, and completely unlock your next big market? Because believe me, the opportunities are out there.